Hey y'all, so Azula reached out to me and sent me one of their OWB leather holsters for the Beretta 92 FS. And today we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Now, if you like this content, like, sub, shares, all that good stuff, I really appreciate it. Also down below, coupon codes and merch to help support the channel. So, this is a first for me because this holster was made in South Africa. So, I've never reviewed a holster from South Africa, so it's a first. So talking about craftsmanship, it's actually pretty decent on this holster. Now I've wore this now for a couple weeks and it really has held up pretty decent, and I've pretty much done everything I've asked of it, which is, well, retain the gun and ride comfortably on my belt. They also, the belt loops here, they did some stitching, like a double stitch along this section, right, to hold the holster together. I've not had any issues with fraying or anything like that in the few weeks I've carried this holster. Up here, they did reinforce the mouth of the holster, which is, it's decently stiff. I will say I did notice when I first got the holster just a few little cosmetic marks, and that's really not anything major. At the end of the day, this holster is going to get beat up from use. And again, this is a much more value-minded, wallet-friendly holster than, say, something you might buy from a custom holster maker for $150. Full sweat guard, which I'll insert the gun now. Gun goes in real nice and easy. Break-in was actually not terrible. So the full sweat guard completely protects the gun from your body, which is nice because, especially here in Arizona, we're still getting some decent temperatures. So, I don't have to worry about my sweat getting all over the gun. Right, completely covers the trigger guard, which is nice. Coming down here, you do have a little bit of extra material that's kind of wrapped around to help protect the crown, which is always something that I look for. Coming to the back of the holster, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but they did do a flat back style holster, which is nice because that means all the mass of the gun is forward of your belt rather than behind it. Pretty much my only complaint, and this is because I have big hands and it might just be how I draw the gun, and I could probably just trim this, is I notice when I get a firing grip on the gun, my hand, this thumb, does a little bit bind on the back of the sweat guard. So I wish this was cut just a little bit higher. Now again, that's probably just me, and I can get a firing grip. Like I've got a firing grip, and I draw out the gun, and it is ready to fire. But I just noticed that my thumb here does kind of, you can see here when I put it on, it does kind of rub on the back of the sweat guard. So that might be something I just trim back a little bit. That's really not that big a deal. But other than that, again, craftsmanship of this holster is pretty decent. Let's go and see how it wears. All right, so here we are outside. It's a little bit windy, but I'm going to try and get through this. So, under a lightweight Hawaiian shirt, the gun conceals pretty well. Do a nice little spin here. And, the gun, again, for a 92 FS, is pretty good. If I pull the shirt tight, of course, you're going to see the gun. But just hanging loose, a lightweight shirt like this, which, should be a lightweight shirt, a button down, a flannel, whatever you want to do, the gun conceals pretty well, right? Even in the wind. Pulling my shirt aside, you can see that the gun is supported pretty well by the holster. The forward can of the holster does a good job of tucking the butt of the gun up closer to your body rather than having it stick out. I am able to get a decent grip on the gun. Again, I did mention that sweat guard issue, but that's minor and that's probably more me than anything. But I'm able to get a good firing grip on the gun, draw the gun out, and works pretty good. Also, reholstering isn't a problem because of the reinforced section here. It holds the mouth of the holster open pretty well. So overall, pretty impressed with the quality of this holster, pretty impressed with how well it conceals. Again, for a full-size Beretta 92 FS, which, again, in case you're unsure, this is a big handgun. So that's a lot to conceal and a lot to ask of a holster, but it does it quite well. Let's go to my final thoughts. Okay, so with the wind blowing my hair around to make it look like I just got out of bed, my final thoughts on the Azula Gun Leather OWB Leather holster for the Beretta 92 FS, and they're pretty much about 95% positive. It broke in well, didn't take a terrible large amount of time. It basically has done everything I've asked of it. It conceals well. I like that they reinforced the mouth there, so it's a little bit easier to reholster. The cant is it's decent cant, so it does hide the butt of the gun. They have a full sweat guard. Again, the only negative I'll say is, this sweat guard maybe could be cut a little bit higher up just to be able to help, where it's not binding on my thumb, but that's not really that major issue. And I am able to get a full firing grip on the gun. It's just, my personal preference. I would have that a little bit higher. But yeah, does a good job, does everything it's asked. It's a nice option if you're not looking to spend, $150 on a custom holster. They're pretty much widely available just about anywhere. I've seen them on Amazon and eBay. So yeah, definitely a cool holster, and I appreciate them sending it out to me. So put down below, what do you think? Is this Azula something you have? Is it something you're looking at getting? If you have one, what do you think of it? Put down below what you think, and have a good day.